The echo of the gavel shattered the heavy silence as Judge Richard Hayes declared the verdict, and the courtroom gasped as though struck by a violent wind. Emily Carter said, "This cannot be the end," her trembling voice carrying across the chamber. Nathan Cole sat frozen, his jaw clenched as if he had been sentenced though he was not the accused. The guarded survivor, Anna Mitchell, stared at the polished wood table, each strike of the gavel reverberating like a memory of catastrophe. Detective Michael Ross whispered, "The evidence was too clean, too perfect." The warm comforter, Laura Bennett, placed a gentle hand on Anna Mitchell's shoulder, her soft eyes shielding a deeper intent. The reluctant firestarter, Jason Reed, slammed his notebook shut, muttering, "Nobody's telling the whole truth here." The Velvet Blade, Adrian Clark, watched from the gallery, expressionless, as though orchestrating the scene with invisible strings. Somewhere unseen, the memory of Sarah Mitchell lingered, a faint ghostly presence, a name unspoken yet pressing on all hearts. The courtroom's fluorescent lights hummed, illuminating faces cracked by grief, anger, and hidden triumph. The verdict was only the opening act of a far darker revelation, and the perfect alibi was already unraveling. The night deepened with rain hammering outside the courthouse, and Anna Mitchell stepped into the storm as if searching for absolution in the cold air. Nathan Cole walked beside her, silent, his thoughts locked like iron. Emily Carter said, "They want us to accept the impossible, but we cannot." Jason Reed muttered, "Everyone's pretending this is over, but it is just starting." Laura Bennett followed quietly, her soft voice offering comfort that hid darker undertones. Detective Michael Ross lit a cigarette, shadows dancing on his tired face. Adrian Clark remained inside, watching through the glass with a predator's calm, as though marking his prey. The ghost of Sarah Mitchell lingered in Anna Mitchell's memory, the echo of laughter drowned by thunder. The storm carried secrets, and the night refused to let them go. The city stretched in neon reflections on wet asphalt, as Anna Mitchell walked, her heart pounding louder than the rain. Nathan Cole finally spoke, "If the evidence is flawless, then it was made flawless." Emily Carter nodded, whispering, "Someone powerful wants this truth buried." Jason Reed kicked a puddle, muttering, "They think I don't know, but I see everything." Laura Bennett's eyes softened, yet her words carried weight. The past has ways of haunting when ignored. Detective Michael Ross said, "We dig deeper or justice dies here." Adrian Clark's black car lingered in the distance, headlights glowing like a hunter's eyes. The ghost of Sarah Mitchell whispered in Anna Mitchell's mind, a memory of laughter in brighter days. They gathered under a flickering streetlight, where shadows swayed with the storm's rhythm. Anna Mitchell whispered, "Sarah would never leave without a reason." Nathan Cole clenched his jaw, muttering, "Then someone made her leave." Emily Carter said, "This case is a performance, and the verdict is the curtain falling." Jason Reed scribbled furiously in his notebook, eyes sharp, and said, "Secrets don't stay buried forever." Laura Bennett brushed rain from her hair, voice soothing yet cryptic. Perhaps the truth was never meant for light. Detective Michael Ross exhaled smoke, eyes narrowing, "Then we force it out." In the darkness, Adrian Clark's car door opened with deliberate calm, presence looming like an omen. The storm eased into heavy drizzle, and silence grew more dangerous than thunder. Anna Mitchell shivered, her eyes fixed on Adrian Clark, approaching with calm authority. Nathan Cole said, "He doesn't come without reason." Emily Carter whispered, "What does he hold over them all?" Jason Reed snapped, "He's the reason Sarah vanished." Laura Bennett placed a steady hand on Jason Reed's shoulder, saying, "Careful, words can build graves." Detective Michael Ross stepped forward, eyes locked with Adrian Clark, voice cold. "Your game ends when we see what you're hiding." Adrian Clark smiled faintly, replying, "Games are won by those who write the rules." The ghost of Sarah Mitchell echoed in Anna Mitchell's chest, as though waiting for the truth to be spoken aloud. The rain had slowed to a soft drizzle when Anna Mitchell stood before Sarah Mitchell's old apartment door, her hand trembling as she held the spare key. Nathan Cole said, "Are you sure you want to do this tonight?" Emily Carter whispered, "Every answer hides in the places we fear to open." Jason Reed muttered, "She left something behind. I can feel it." Laura Bennett spoke gently, "The past has its own gravity, Anna. It pulls when we least expect it." Detective Michael Ross scanned the empty hallway, saying, "If Adrian Clark knew we were here, we'd be finished." Adrian Clark's presence haunted them even in absence, like a shadow lurking at the edges. Anna Mitchell pressed the key into the lock, her breath shallow, and said, "If we do not look, we'll never know why her alibi was flawless." The silence before the door opened carried the weight of truth and betrayal. Inside the apartment, dust covered every surface as though time had conspired to preserve Sarah Mitchell's absence. Anna Mitchell whispered, "She never meant to leave this behind." Nathan Cole picked up a half-finished letter saying, "This was never sent." Emily Carter leaned close to the table and said, "There's more here than what we see." Jason Reed's sharp eyes darted across the bookshelves, muttering, "Look where no one else would." Laura Bennett touched a faded photograph, speaking softly. Sarah smiled, but her eyes were hiding storms. Detective Michael Ross crouched near the window, saying, "Someone searched here before us." The air itself seemed to breathe with secrets, every drawer a witness to silence. Adrian Clark's cold presence was felt even without his body there, as though his control extended into these walls. The flicker of lightning through the window revealed the truth hidden in plain sight. A towing dial. Anna Mitchell gasped, "Her diary is here." Nathan Cole opened it carefully, saying, "These are fragments of a life rewritten." Emily Carter read a line aloud, whispering, "She was meeting someone in secret." Jason Reed said with defiance, "That someone is the reason she vanished." Laura Bennett's eyes softened. Though her tone was steady, secrets are currency, and she was paying dearly. Detective Michael Ross frowned, muttering, "Every page contradicts the story the court believed." The words bled through like ghosts clawing to be heard. Adrian Clark's name appeared in ink, subtle but undeniable, binding him directly to Sarah Mitchell's last days. A sudden knock at the apartment door froze them all in place, hearts tightening like strings pulled too far. Anna Mitchell whispered, "He found us." Nathan Cole signaled with his hand to stay quiet. Emily Carter's breath trembled as she said, "We should not be here." Jason Reed whispered fiercely, "If we run now, we'll never know the whole truth." Laura Bennett's calm voice slipped through. Sometimes survival demands silence. Detective Michael Ross gripped his gun, saying, "If it's Adrian Clark, this ends differently tonight." The knock repeated, slow and deliberate, echoing like a countdown. The air stilled, and in the silence, Sarah Mitchell's absence pressed harder, as though warning them of the danger at the door. The door creaked open, but it was not Adrian Clark. Instead, Judge Richard Hayes stood with a rain-soaked coat, eyes sharp with guilt. Anna Mitchell said, "Why are you here?" Nathan Cole's fists unclenched slowly as he asked, "You knew all along, didn't you?" Emily Carter whispered, "The verdict was a performance." Jason Reed snapped, "He is part of this lie." Laura Bennett stepped closer, her tone careful. Sometimes justice hides in places it should never hide. Detective Michael Ross lowered his gun, muttering, "So it was not Clark who followed us, but someone else bound by silence." Judge Richard Hayes said in a heavy voice, "There are truths the court cannot allow to surface." In that moment, the perfect alibi began to fracture, and the hidden web of deceit revealed its first crack. The air in the apartment thickened after Judge Richard Hayes revealed his presence, and silence grew sharp enough to wound. Anna Mitchell said, "You came here to bury the truth, not to reveal it." Nathan Cole muttered, "Every lie you protected has a cost." Emily Carter leaned forward, whispering, "You are not just a judge, you are a conspirator." Jason Reed scowled and said, "Sarah Mitchell trusted someone she should not have. And that was you." Laura Bennett's voice was calm as she observed, "Perhaps guilt finally forced you to follow us here." Detective Michael Ross said, "If you know more, then hiding will only make you their accomplice." Judge Richard Hayes lowered his eyes and whispered, "The verdict was not justice, it was survival." The name of Adrian Clark remained unspoken, but his shadow lingered in every word. The group moved into the living room where files lay scattered, each paper a fragment of the puzzle. Anna Mitchell whispered, "Sarah Mitchell left trails for us." Nathan Cole said, "These documents are altered, someone rewrote her life." Emily Carter leaned closer, muttering, "Look at the signatures, they do not match." Jason Reed snapped, "Adrian Clark's name hides in every line, waiting for us to find it." Laura Bennett sighed. "Truth is fragile when forged by hands of power." Detective Michael Ross frowned and said, "This confirms she was silenced to protect more than one man." Judge Richard Hayes rubbed his forehead, whispering, "I was forced to obey, or lose everything." The papers on the floor rustled as though stirred by Sarah Mitchell's unseen presence. Lightning split the sky outside as the truth began piecing itself together. Anna Mitchell said she was writing about a secret meeting. Nathan Cole nodded, muttering, "It was with Adrian Clark, no doubt." Emily Carter whispered, "The entries speak of fear, yet also of hope." Jason Reed added, "She trusted the wrong man, and it killed her freedom." Laura Bennett spoke with a quiet firmness, "Power always takes until nothing is left." Detective Michael Ross slammed the diary shut, saying, "This was not disappearance, this was removal." Judge Richard Hayes said bitterly, "You do not understand the chains he holds over us all." The storm howled louder, and in the silence afterward, Sarah Mitchell's memory seemed to cry out from the pages. The sound of footsteps echoed in the hallway outside the apartment, and panic pulsed like a second heartbeat. Anna Mitchell whispered, "He is here." Nathan Cole's fists tightened as he muttered, "We cannot face him unprepared." Emily Carter said, "If Adrian Clark steps through that door, we are trapped." Jason Reed hissed, "Let him come. The truth is stronger than fear." Laura Bennett's calm voice warned, "Truth without protection is a death sentence." Detective Michael Ross raised his gun, whispering, "This is the fight we cannot avoid." Judge Richard Hayes shook his head, saying, "You do not understand his reach. None of us are safe." The footsteps paused outside, leaving the silence charged with dread, while Sarah Mitchell's memory whispered like a warning on the wind. The door burst open, and yet it was not Adrian Clark, but two officers entering with forced calm. Anna Mitchell gasped, "Why are you here now?" Nathan Cole said, "He sent them to silence us." Emily Carter muttered, "This is not rescue, this is control." Jason Reed shouted, "They are his puppets, can't you see?" Laura Bennett said softly, "Even the law bends in the wrong hands." Detective Michael Ross barked, "You will not take us without cause." Judge Richard Hayes lowered his head and whispered, "He has already written this scene." The officers stood still, their silence heavier than words, as though Adrian Clark spoke through their presence. Sarah Mitchell's memory seemed to flicker brighter, as though urging them not to surrender to fear. The silence after the officers entered stretched long enough to crack nerves. And then Anna Mitchell said, "You serve Adrian Clark, even in his absence." Nathan Cole's voice trembled with anger. "This is no longer about Sarah Mitchell. This is about control." Emily Carter whispered, "They are here to erase every trace she left behind." Jason Reed muttered, "If we lose her words, we lose her voice forever." Laura Bennett's calm eyes swept across the room as she said, "Then we must protect what is left." Detective Michael Ross barked, "Stand aside, or prove you are not his pawns." Judge Richard Hayes whispered, "You cannot fight the law when he writes it." The officers exchanged glances, but their silence betrayed obedience, not justice. The storm outside pulsed like a drumbeat, echoing Sarah Mitchell's memory. The tension broke when one officer stepped forward, placing a sealed envelope on the table. Anna Mitchell whispered, "What is this?" Nathan Cole said, "Evidence or another lie." Emily Carter muttered, "Why give us this if they serve Adrian Clark?" Jason Reed snapped, "It is bait, meant to trap us." Laura Bennett's calm tone cut through. Sometimes even pawns doubt their master. Detective Michael Ross opened the envelope, his eyes widening as he said, "These are bank transfers tied to Adrian Clark." Judge Richard Hayes covered his face, whispering, "I warned you. He owns everything." The officers turned and left without a word, leaving the storm to fill their silence. Sarah Mitchell's face seemed to flicker in Anna Mitchell's memory, as if urging her forward. The room filled with the weight of revelation as Michael Ross spread the documents across the table. Anna Mitchell said, "She tried to expose this, and they silenced her." Nathan Cole muttered, "Adrian Clark's money washed every truth away." Emily Carter whispered, "These accounts connect to judges, politicians, even the police." Jason Reed shouted, "That is why they called her disappearance voluntary." Laura Bennett's soft tone lingered, "The deeper the roots, the darker the tree." Judge Richard Hayes said bitterly, "You do not know the power he wields. These names are untouchable." Michael Ross growled, "Then we make them touchable." The storm outside cracked lightning, as Sarah Mitchell's memory seemed to echo from the walls, her truth clawing its way out. The discovery rattled every soul in the room, but the shadows outside grew heavier. Anna Mitchell said, "He will not stop until all of this burns." Nathan Cole whispered, "Then we stand in the fire together." Emily Carter's hands shook as she said, "We cannot survive him without allies." Jason Reed muttered, "Allies betray, only the truth does not." Laura Bennett's eyes glimmered as she spoke softly, "Truth without power is nothing but words." Michael Ross slammed his fist on the table, saying, "Then we gather the evidence, every piece Sarah Mitchell left us." Judge Richard Hayes sighed heavily, "If you dig further, he will erase you too." The thunder roared like Sarah Mitchell's unspoken scream, forcing them toward the next step. The final crack of lightning shattered the moment of debate, when Anna Mitchell found Sarah Mitchell's hidden letter beneath the floorboard. Anna Mitchell said, "She wrote this for us." Nathan Cole leaned in, whispering, "It is her final voice." Emily Carter said, "Read it, before fear silences us again." Jason Reed urged, "Her truth is the key to breaking Clark." Laura Bennett's calm tone cut through, "Be careful, truth destroys as much as it saves." Michael Ross said, "This is the evidence we needed, her alibi unraveling into his crime." Judge Richard Hayes whispered, "If you speak those words aloud, you will never escape him." Anna Mitchell opened the letter, her voice trembling as Sarah Mitchell's ghost seemed to lean close, breathing life into her final truth. The hidden letter trembled in Anna Mitchell's hands, as the storm outside quieted, leaving only the sound of dripping water. Anna Mitchell whispered, "This is her truth." Nathan Cole muttered, "Read it before courage slips away." Emily Carter leaned close, saying, "Sarah Mitchell's words must cut through the lies." Jason Reed urged, "Every secret she wrote is a weapon against Adrian Clark." Laura Bennett's calm voice echoed, but weapons wound both sides. Detective Michael Ross said, "If this letter holds evidence, then it is the spark we ignite now." Judge Richard Hayes whispered heavily, "If you speak it aloud, none of us will leave untouched." The letter opened, and Sarah Mitchell's words revealed meetings, threats, and the name of Adrian Clark, tied to every dark strand. Anna Mitchell's voice cracked as she read aloud, "Sarah Mitchell's confession. He promised to protect me, but his protection was a cage." Nathan Cole muttered, "Every word ties her fate to Adrian Clark." Emily Carter whispered, "This is proof the verdict was corrupted." Jason Reed said with fury, "And proof Sarah Mitchell was silenced." Laura Bennett sighed softly. "The truth is a fire, but fire consumes what it touches." Detective Michael Ross said firmly, "We take this to the court, no matter the cost." Judge Richard Hayes shook his head, whispering, "The court belongs to him, you cannot fight him there." The storm outside seemed to pause, as if the world itself waited for the next move. The tension erupted when the door burst open, and Adrian Clark finally entered, his calm steps cutting through the silence. Anna Mitchell's hands shook as she said, "You destroyed her life." Nathan Cole shouted, "You forged every truth until justice became a lie." Emily Carter whispered, "You stand here because you think you are untouchable." Jason Reed glared and said, "Sarah Mitchell's letter proves your hands are drenched in control." Laura Bennett's soft voice lingered, "But even control has limits." Detective Michael Ross raised his gun and said, "This ends tonight." Judge Richard Hayes whispered fearfully. You cannot stop him. He is the architect of everything. Adrian Clark smiled faintly, replying, I do not destroy truths, I rewrite them. The confrontation thickened as the storm raged again, lightning illuminating Adrian Clark's controlled face. Anna Mitchell said, Sarah Mitchell's words will live past you. Nathan Cole muttered, Your empire was built on silence, and silence breaks tonight. Emily Carter whispered, The world will hear this truth. Jason Reed shouted, You cannot bury her anymore. Laura Bennett's soft tone cut in, Be careful. Truth shatters more than it saves. Detective Michael Ross barked, One move, and you fall with every secret you hold. Judge Richard Hayes said weakly, If he falls, we all fall with him. Adrian Clark laughed coldly and said, Fall? I built the ground you stand on. The storm rattled the walls as Sarah Mitchell's memory glowed brighter than ever. The climax erupted as Adrian Clark lunged forward, but Anna Mitchell thrust the letter into Michael Ross's hand. Anna Mitchell said, Protect this with your life. Nathan Cole shouted, It is the key to breaking him. Emily Carter screamed, Do not let him take it. Jason Reed yelled, Her voice will not be silenced again. Laura Bennett's soft tone cracked as she said, This is where everything fractures. Michael Ross aimed his weapon, growling, One step closer and you die with the lies you built. Judge Richard Hayes whispered, History will remember this moment. Adrian Clark's calm finally broke as he snarled, You think paper can defeat power? Sarah Mitchell's presence seemed to fill the room, her ghostly glow brighter than the storm outside. The room fell into silence after Adrian Clark's lunge failed, leaving tension thicker than the storm outside. Anna Mitchell said, This letter is no longer mine. It belongs to justice. Nathan Cole muttered, The truth cannot stay in this room. Emily Carter whispered, If we do not carry it out, his shadow wins. Jason Reed snapped, Then we take it into the light, no matter the cost. Laura Bennett spoke softly, Light can burn just as deeply as darkness. Detective Michael Ross said firmly, Tomorrow we bring this to the world. Judge Richard Hayes whispered with despair, The world already belongs to him. Adrian Clark sneered coldly, Paper burns easily. The storm eased to rain, as if even nature prepared for a reckoning, while Sarah Mitchell's memory lingered brighter, her silence demanding to be broken. They moved from the apartment into the rain-soaked street, their breaths visible in the cold air. Anna Mitchell whispered, Every step carries her truth now. Nathan Cole muttered, The city itself will judge us. Emily Carter said, We walk into danger, but silence is worse. Jason Reed kicked at puddles, shouting, Let them come, I refuse to be silent. Laura Bennett spoke softly, Be careful what you awaken. It may not sleep again. Detective Michael Ross scanned the empty corner, saying, Adrian Clark's eyes are everywhere. Judge Richard Hayes whispered, You think the city listens, but it only obeys him. Adrian Clark's black car appeared briefly in the distance before fading into the rain. Sarah Mitchell's memory flickered in Anna Mitchell's mind like a lantern guiding through shadows. Highlight, she peeks to all. They gathered in an abandoned warehouse where the flickering light revealed rust and broken glass. Anna Mitchell said, This will be our stand. Nathan Cole muttered, The evidence must survive, even if we do not. Emily Carter whispered, We are walking targets now. Jason Reed scrawled in his notebook, muttering, I will record every word so it cannot vanish. Laura Bennett's calm voice carried warning, Sometimes survival means sacrificing what we protect. Detective Michael Ross said firmly, If we fall with the truth exposed. Judge Richard Hayes whispered, Adrian Clark will never let this leave the shadows. A loud crash echoed in the distance, and Anna Mitchell felt Sarah Mitchell's memory urging her to be stronger than the fear inside her chest. The warehouse echoed with footsteps as allies and enemies blurred into shadows. Anna Mitchell whispered, Every second counts. Nathan Cole said, He will come with more than threats this time. Emily Carter muttered, The city itself bends to his command. Jason Reed hissed, Then we bend it back until it breaks. Laura Bennett's eyes flickered as she said softly, "Be careful. Breaking chains can break hearts." Detective Michael Ross raised his weapon, declaring, "Let him come, we are ready." Judge Richard Hayes whispered, "No one is ready for Adrienne Clark." In that silence, the ghost of Sarah Mitchell seemed to stand among them, her memory a shield against the fear pressing from every corner of the warehouse. The storm finally broke as thunder roared and the warehouse doors burst open. Anna Mitchell raised the letter high and said, "This truth cannot be destroyed." Nathan Cole shouted, "We will not bow anymore." Emily Carter whispered, "This is bigger than us, but it must be done." Jason Reed yelled, "Her voice will live in us all." Laura Bennett's calm cracked, her voice trembling, "Truth cuts both ways." Detective Michael Ross aimed his weapon at the figures entering, saying, "One step closer, and this ends now." Judge Richard Hayes whispered, "We are already mocked by his power." Adrienne Clark stepped forward into the light at last, his eyes cold as he said, "You think this ends here? This is only the beginning." Sarah Mitchell's memory glowed fiercely, her presence flooding the warehouse with haunting brilliance. The storm quieted into a suffocating stillness as Adrienne Clark stood in the warehouse, his shadow stretching long across the floor. Anna Mitchell whispered, "Sarah Mitchell's truth will not die here." Nathan Cole muttered, "We carry her voice even if we fall." Emily Carter said, "The verdict was never justice, it was a mask." Jason Reed shouted, "That mask shatters tonight." Laura Bennett's calm but weary voice warned, "The shards will cut us all." Detective Michael Ross raised his gun, saying, "This is the moment where justice takes breath." Judge Richard Hayes whispered, "Justice bends before it stands tall." Adrienne Clark smirked, replying, "Justice bends because I demand it." Sarah Mitchell's glow filled the warehouse, her memory standing tall as the unbroken witness to all their suffering. Adrienne Clark advanced slowly, his calm steps echoing against steel beams. Anna Mitchell said, "Sarah Mitchell trusted you, and you turned trust into a weapon." Nathan Cole muttered, "You rewrote her life for your empire." Emily Carter whispered, "And you thought silence would bury her forever." Jason Reed hissed, "But silence cannot erase truth." Laura Bennett's voice softened, "Truth will bleed, but it will not disappear." Detective Michael Ross said coldly, "The world will know you now." Judge Richard Hayes trembled as he whispered, "If he falls, he will drag us all down with him." Adrienne Clark's smile faded for the first time, as Sarah Mitchell's glow seemed to rise behind Anna Mitchell, her memory standing like a guardian of justice. The confrontation reached its breaking point as Adrienne Clark lunged for the letter. Anna Mitchell shouted, "You will not take her words again." Nathan Cole tackled Adrienne Clark, muttering, "You end tonight." Emily Carter whispered desperately, "Hold him down before he silences us all." Jason Reed yelled, "Sarah Mitchell's truth is ours now." Laura Bennett's voice cracked, "The truth cannot survive if you destroy each other." Detective Michael Ross shouted, "Stand back or I fire." Judge Richard Hayes covered his face and whispered, "This moment rewrites history." Adrienne Clark roared, "History is mine to command." Sarah Mitchell's ghostly glow burned bright as though her spirit itself refused to let her truth be silenced again. Adrienne Clark collapsed to his knees as Michael Ross forced him down with the weight of the gun. Anna Mitchell whispered, "Sarah Mitchell's truth breaks you." Nathan Cole said, "Your empire ends tonight." Emily Carter muttered, "The city will hear her words at last." Jason Reed hissed, "Her voice is louder than your power now." Laura Bennett's eyes softened as she whispered, "Sometimes justice arrives only when it is too late." Michael Ross growled, "You will answer for every chain you forged." Judge Richard Hayes whispered, "We are witnesses to the fall of a king." Adrienne Clark spat, "Kings do not fall, they are replaced." Sarah Mitchell's memory glowed fiercely, her spirit standing taller than all of them, as though justice itself had risen through her. The warehouse grew silent once more as dawnlight crept through broken windows. Anna Mitchell whispered, "Her truth is free now." Nathan Cole muttered, Even if the world denies it, it exists. Emily Carter said, "The verdict will never erase what we know." Jason Reed shouted softly, "Her voice will echo longer than his lies." Laura Bennett sighed, "Justice is not perfect, but it lingers like a scar." Michael Ross holstered his gun, saying, "We carry her truth forward." Judge Richard Hayes whispered, "And history will remember what we saw here." Adrian Clark stared coldly from the ground, broken but unyielding. Sarah Mitchell's glow faded into the dawn, her memory leaving one haunting truth. A perfect alibi had hidden perfect crimes. But no lie survives forever.